Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are featuring Rado's latest model to their Captain Cook Ranger watches, and this is their new blue ceramic. Now I've got a soft spot for the Captain Cook range, I must admit, ever since it came back in, I think it's around about mid 2017 when they relaunched the range. I think prior to that they were lacking a kind of sports watch, let's say, and the Captain Cook range just really does nail all those kind of boxes when it comes to a sports diver. It really does look the part. It's got that it's got a bit of a unique look due to that, the way the bezel kind of sits into the dial where it angles in. I think they really are onto a winner with this range. But before I get too far into a review, I've got to say a massive thank you to the team over at First Class Watches of Kenilworth for allowing me to review this model. As I've said before, they're absolute superstars, really friendly. Don't just take my word for it. Look on Trustpilot, you'll see just how well they, how much their customers like them. All I ask is if you do contact them, please mention the channel. I'll leave a link in the description below and across the bottom of the page now. So anyway, let's talk sizes of this. Sizes are interesting on this one. As it states, it's a 43mm watch. Now, I'm struggling to find 43mm anywhere on this watch. Now, the actual case of the watch actually works at around about 42mm, but the bezel, which overhangs, is 44mm, so a bit of an oddball really there. The thickness of the watch, true to most manufacturers, is a little bit shy of a true dimension. I'm reading 15mm, not the alleged 14.6, and the lug to lug size I'm getting 49mm, so still making it quite a wearable watch really. The strap on this model is a 21mm strap. Now, the dial, or should we say lack of dial, is where it's all at, isn't it? It's kind of it. The skeleton range just looks absolutely superb. I love the fact that you can see all the movement through there. It just looks superb. Even down to silly things like when you pull the crown out to set the actual hack and set the time, you can see the point on the setting lever where it actually engages, and it's just so cool because you can learn a lot about watchmaking from simply looking through at how the movement actually works. I think it is a very cool, it's a very cool movement. Well, just when you can see it like that, it's well decorated, well finished. It just looks really, really good. So anyway, we have on here, where's my little pointer? Here we go, make it a tad easier. So as you can see, we do have a complete lack, or a transparent dial, let's say, looking through there. It just looks really cool. You obviously have the chapter ring going around with the minute counter on there and the applied hour markers which sit on there. These applied hour markers and the hands are full of lume. There is a really good lume on this watch. There's no, no denying that at all. Now, you do have the Captain Cook written across there with 300 meters water resistant. And to be fair, that's all you need. And I like that. It's not overdone with writing or anything. It is very cool. Obviously, the Rado up here. And then you have their very cool anchor. If I tap the watch, you see how it will always, so it always points down basically, but you do need to give it a little bit of a tap to do that. And it's quite funny actually, because I dare say they can add an extra jewel to the count of jewels in the watch, because that does sit on a jewel. One of the more, something different on this watch is the way the actual hands are. They have like a textured finish, almost like a little bit of a sparkle to them. It's a little bit strange, but it does work well, because quite often on many skeletonized watches, it's actually quite hard to read the time because you've got so much information in that small amount of real estate. And it really does kind of help with the actual whole purpose of a watch, timekeeping. So that really does help with that. Overall, I think the dial just looks great. I love the distortion you get off this crystal here. If I zoom in a bit more, let me just see, there we go. you can see how much distortion you get on the edges. Not only distortion, but magnification as well. And I think it looks really cool for that. Now, obviously there's AR coating on there. As we come out, we have this sapphire crystal. Sorry, past the sapphire crystal, I should mention, but we've got the ceramic bezel there. Let's have a listen to the action. Very, very snappy. There's a little bit of back play. It's a 120 click bezel. Let's line it up. Does it line up? Be disappointed if it didn't on this one. And it lines up perfectly. The loom pip on this is also a loom pip is, funny enough, loomed. Imagine that. Now you can purchase it quite easily, he says, with the serrations on the side of the bezel, no problem at all. And then we come to the case. Now the case being ceramic, it does have a bit of a strange look to it. It almost does look like plastic, but the advantages of ceramic are basically it's a lot harder than steel. Now, what that equates to is it's going to be very hard to scratch this watch. It is also lighter than steel. So even though it's a relatively big dive watch, there is no weight to this watch. It is really quite light. So, but with that hardness does come one disadvantage, and that's brittleness. So you've always got to be careful if you were to drop a ceramic watch. Not all of them. A lot of them are a lot better than the old days when, when ceramics were first being used in watches, they were incredibly brittle. But now they do seem to be a lot better. You don't hear so many horror stories of people cracking their watches. But it was definitely was a thing of the past. But even so, you don't really want to test one of these watches. Now, one of the nice little intriguing bits they've got here is they've actually got an inset piece here of the anchor. And I think that is just a nice little detail. Don't always have to put in, but it is a kind of nice when they do. And it is a screw down crown, as you can see there. So screw that back in. Now, as we flip this watch round, we're greeted with that kind of movement back there. That is the R808. Now I put this on the time grapher and it did a sterling job of +3 seconds. I must say the beat rate was a little bit high at 0.6. A little bit unusual, but anyway. The advantages, well, good things with this movement. First of all, it's 25 dual movement. It's got 80 hours of power supply, and it's been regulated to 5 positions. So even though it was reading +3, which is perfectly acceptable for any watch well within chronometer specifications, that was just in the one position I had it in for the time set reading. Now, when it's been adjusted, that might mean that sometimes when you do adjust a watch like that, you might find that in one position it gains or loses. So you try and level them all out. And this has been, kind of leveled out to 5 different positions like you would get on a Rolex. So it's really good that they spend the time to actually do that, because it's not an easy task. Now it does have an anti-magnetic hairspring, balance spring, but even when I first got this, it was running +5 or +6. So I quickly just ran it across the demagnetizer, and then it went down to the +3. So it's not only the balance spring which can get it can be magnetized by other parts of this watch, and that was evident when I put it when I demagged it. So anyway, as we come past that, we have this kind of silicone strap here. It's all labeled up inside. It is just, it's just a nicely done strap. It feels incredibly comfortable on the wrist. The clasp here has got like a ceramic insert on the top there. I'm not going to take off all of the packaging there, all the stickers, and it has Rado and all the necessary bits and pieces laser printed on there. Now for my wrist size, I have it right back here, so I guess you could easily fit an 8-inch wrist on this, no problem. Let me put it on my wrist so you got an idea how it looks. Just a quick wrist check. I'm wearing my Seiko tuner, had this for many years now, and Bob has got the Longines on there I just reviewed. Again, blue accents. It's definitely a blue watch here kind of thing. So quickly put this on. My wrist size is 8¼ inches, which roughly works out to, sorry, not 8¼ 7¼ inches, which roughly works out to about 18.5 centimeters. And I think that is a cracking looking watch. It's got just the right amount of bling with that ceramic bezel, but not over the top, and I think it does look great. I love the way the light catches that bezel and reflects it back. I think it looks really, really cool. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you to it at that, but most importantly, you stay safe out there. Take care. Bye.